In this demonstration, we're going to look at how Gluware provides automation of Cisco's Meraki SDN solution. So let's go ahead and get logged into the Gluware control here, and we're going to navigate into the config modeling app. So here in config modeling, you see a node. That node is the Meraki cloud, and there's our API credentials to connect to it. And we're bringing up the visualization to see that there's the API, there's the Meraki cloud service, and then the so-called features are things that we manage on it. So the piece that was already done prior to this demo is we've run a workflow, an integrated workflow to actually ingest all the configuration parameters or policies from this particular instance of the Meraki cloud service. So here what we have underlying is, in this use case, we are going to be doing something that's fairly challenging when you make device level settings. We're going to be updating DHCP or IP helper, new IP helper addresses as part of the DHCP settings, because this is actually a real use case that came from a global pharmaceutical that has 400 networks and over 1,000 devices, and then multiple VLANs on those devices, and they changed their DHCP server. So they had to have someone go and manually work for hours clicking in and doing those changes. What we're showing here with Gluware is that through Gluware's capability, we're going to be matching on the voice, the regex of the voice interfaces or VLANs, and then we are going to be applying a policy, a new policy for the DHCP. So in this case, we're going to name this global policy, calling it InfoBlocks DHCP service for servers for the IP helper functionality, and we're going to be turning on the DHCP relay. So these are settings that we're deriving straight from it. Here are the new addresses that we're going to be adding or configuring on each of those VLANs. So you kind of do the underlying work to set up the change that you're making. And now we're going to edit this, what we call a feature. And for Meraki, we have a new type of feature, which is a feature sync, which enables Gluware with the ability to apply that change to a large set of devices across all the networks. So what you see here is that feature is being fed in the DHCP information that is being tied to a set of devices that you're able to choose. So if we switch over here to the Meraki solution, what you would have had to do is navigate from switch into the routing and DHCP segments. Then you would have to click into each VLAN, and then you would have to edit the DHCP servers, and you'd have to do this across every VLAN that you're looking to change. So you can see, while it's not extremely difficult, it's a lot of navigation in and point and click. And you would have to do that from the org into the network into the device. So it's actually about a dozen or so clicks to get in and configure it. So here we're going to provision the configuration change on this particular, we're going to preview the configuration change. And so what a preview does for Gluware is we read the current state of the configuration, and in the configuration preview, we show you the changes that are going to be made. So again, this is like a preemptive step to look at, or a pre-step to validate and make sure you want to commit these changes down. We can see that Gluware is identifying the voice interfaces, and it is identifying those VLANs to then apply the new IP helpers. So now we're going to, instead of preview, we're going to provision it. So here we've started the provisioning. Similarly, you look at the Gluware logs when provisioning, and you get a very detailed interaction of Gluware sitting on top of the Meraki API. The Meraki solution is a very rich set of APIs to do essentially everything you can do through the UI, you can do through over 300 API calls. So Gluware is becoming essentially a third-party application layer to automate mass changes or multiple changes and provide policy automation on top, especially when systems scale out to hundreds and thousands. So you can see in the in the provisioning here, we're highlighting what's been changed. We can navigate back into the Meraki dashboard and navigate into the VLANs and see that the DHCP servers have been changed. And the ones that didn't match the regex have not been changed, so those haven't been touched.